A lot of us get stuck because of the way we think without even noticing it. Today I'm going to talk about 6 mindset shifts that actually help you get things done. So the first one is focus on what you can control. This is a really important mindset tactic, and it basically means just don't blame. Don't blame people, don't blame your manager for the way that they're acting, don't blame your friends for things that they say. Only focus on things that you can control. So find a situation in your life where you're blaming someone and just think about the things that you can personally do to reshift it to be like, okay, what could I do better in this scenario where I'm not blaming someone, and what I can do to make the situation better myself. If you don't blame anyone, you have full control over the outcome. You don't have to rely on someone else or something else to happen for you to get something. So let me know in the comments of what you guys think about this one, because I think that it's the number one thing that's helped me, reduce stress, increase my mindset, because I just take responsibility for everything. If an interaction goes wrong, if something it's not like I'm also blaming myself, but I'm thinking, what could I have done better in that situation to get a better outcome? So the second one is to prioritize your learning over validation from others. So validation from others, in my opinion, is not important. You don't need to be validated by your friends. You don't need to be validated by random people on the street. If you're happy with yourself and you have a clear goal of where you want to be, you just need to work towards that goal for yourself. It's good to get feedback, if you're out in social situations and people are taking a disliking to you all the time, then you probably need to think about, how am I acting? Am I acting rude? Am I acting selfish? All of these things. But if you have a generally positive experience, but then you have a negative experience with someone and maybe the interaction is really awkward, or you don't get what you think you're going to get out of that, think about what you could have done differently, rather than just thinking, oh, I didn't get the approval of this person, really worrying about it, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that you're happy with yourself, you're happy with the progress that you're making towards your goals. Because when you become the best version of yourself, you're going to attract the people that you actually want around you anyway, automatically, as long as you're going and putting yourself in maybe situations out of your comfort zone. The third one's an important one. Is remember that it takes time for growth to happen. Nothing's overnight. Think about these get-rich-quick schemes or gambling and stuff. There's always negatives to it. If you want to make real change in your life, it's going to take a bit of time. But in a period as short as 3 months, you actually can make huge progress. If that's for fitness, if that's for confidence, anything, you can make huge progress, but you need to actually understand what you want to achieve in that 3 months. What's the character you want to become in that 3 months? What traits do they have? What disciplines do they have? What are they doing every day? You have to really think about that, because without a goal, you also won't make any progress. But you have to trust the process, you have to be consistent, you have to show up every day. And if you do that, there's a saying I've said in my other videos, 1% better every day, 37 times better in a year, which is really insane. You can literally become 37 times better if you just try and strive to improve yourself 1% every day. And that could be your goal. You could think 90 days, okay, what's something that I could do every day that would make myself 1% better? And what person would I be in that 90 days? So the fourth one is committing to curiosity. So I think curiosity is super important. It's important to do things out of your comfort zone, to make sure you try anything that you find interesting in the day. Look into it, try and understand it, try and make sense of things. Don't just dismiss it and be like, oh, it's too complicated, or oh, I can't really do that. Try and figure out, especially when you come across people or things that you're interested in, what makes them behave that way? How do they do that? You could even come across someone who's coming across really confident, or someone who has these character traits that you want. Just ask them, how did you become like this? Were you always like this? Try and understand it, because by just asking questions and being curious, you can learn so much. So this is another big one. So the fifth one is practicing gratitude and optimism. It's so important to be grateful for what you have and also be optimistic as to what you'll achieve. What's interesting is you sometimes watch these interviews with people who are, very successful, and they say that the things in life that they appreciate nowadays are things that everyone can experience, like a nice meal or a sunset or walk on the beach. Everyone can achieve these things, everyone can get out in nature, everyone can, make themselves a nice meal. It's the small things that can actually really matter, even if you have everything. So just make sure you're grateful for what you have, and also optimistic about the future. Because what is actually really valuable in this world are things that you can do every day. It's, waking up and understanding that you have a whole day to potentially make an impact in your life, things like that. Just be grateful for the small things. And yeah, the optimism links into this because it's just really important to, once you've set this goal, once you've set this thing you want to achieve, make sure you're optimistic that you're going to be able to achieve it. Remove negativity, because it's important to just stay positive, stay optimistic. And as cliche as it sounds, it's actually something that just makes a lot of sense. Like, it's something that, you know, if you think you're going to achieve something, you're way more likely to achieve it. And yeah, for the 6th point, I just really want to drill the whole embracing, you know, total responsibility for everything that's happening in your life. As hard as that can be sometimes, because there are these situations where it's like, damn, you know, I was brought up in this place and it's difficult and everything's hard. If you continue to do that, if you don't embrace the full responsibility for the situation you're in, for the decisions that you've made, for whatever you do when you wake up every day to change things, you have to embrace responsibility. Because with that full control, full ownership, you can control how your life turns out. You can make conscious decisions every day, good or bad ones. And yeah, over time, if you continue to make the good ones, that's when the real change will happen. So those are all the points I wanted to go over today. Hopefully some of these were useful to you. If you do want to chat to me or potentially work with me, I can basically give you all of the questions that you need to answer to figure out what you're going to need to become within that 90 days, and basically fully create a roadmap to get you in that position. If it's going to take longer than the 90 days, depending on what your goal is, I can also help you with that. But yeah, feel free to have a chat with me, and I'll put a link down below for that. And feel free to also watch the next video that will be on the screen somewhere that YouTube recommends you watch. Thanks for watching.